side here, not in front of you. Some horses will dance around you, run you over, because they see something up ahead and they start pulling. And I don't want to have to keep correcting him and saying, bad horsey. I'd rather say, you're a good boy, you listen to me. And then his attention stays on me, because I'm a lot more interesting now than that pony across the street. I had interesting stories told me by other clicker trained horse owners. When they teach that whoa command, it comes in handy because on a trail ride, one had the reins break and the horse got excited and started running, and without the reins it's hard to stop the horse. Well, she had the verbal word whoa, she taught it in advance, and now under saddle, as soon as she said that, he stopped and he waited for his reinforcement. This isn't something you just do on the ground. You can do it under saddle, you can do it while driving, you can do it in any situation. Just be safe, watch personal space, make sure the horse doesn't get in your face, do anything unsafe. If it's a horse you don't know, work with them over a stall wall. Use a stall guard or over a small paddock fence until you know the horse. It's a totally new animal. Because sometimes they get a little too excited no matter what training method, and you don't want anyone getting hurt. Safety is always number one no matter what training method you're going to use. Teach them to do useful things. Sometimes just holding up his feet to the farrier. And he already knows this is not much to show you. But as soon as he lifts and holds, I'm going to reinforce that. And then we work with duration. So the first step is he unweights it, and I reward. Take you started with the whole new horse. He unweights it. Some horses you can squeeze that tendon as hard as you want, and they're just not going to budge. They don't care. You can't squeeze it hard enough for them. So once he gets the idea of lifting, come forward again. Stand. You're going to lift the foot and stand quietly for a moment. Once they get that down, sometimes this takes a little while. Sometimes they got to build their balance, they got to trust you. This is scary for a horse. So prey animal, it's very scary to have their foot pulled out from under them. It needs to hold that foot up. Some farriers will actually fire their clients to stop pulling them back because one of the horses will not stand still. The farrier needs to be able to keep this horse in this position as long as necessary. And you can't always fight them with it because the horse is already scared. It's just going to make the horse more scared. If you add pain to a scary situation, he's now going to associate it as you're proving the point to him. He now knows it's scary. So I'm building duration. You just do it a moment at a time, and then 2 seconds, and then 4 seconds to where he's comfortable standing. And then you get a big draft horse, and he'll stand, and he'll unweight his foot and stay unweighted. That's the problem with the draft horses. Some of the farriers don't like to work with them either because they'll lean on you. They get a little lazy. They kind of lean against you. They've got to have their feet trimmed. It's important to do on a domesticated horse. If you don't, they get feet infections. You get all sorts of lameness problems. So we got to have a horse. We have to have a horse that's going to stand quietly for the farrier, not to get upset. We don't want to have to use sedation or tranquilizers. We want to have them be safe, and the farrier be safe. Work on duration. Get him to stand quietly, front and rear. No kicking, no biting, no bad behavior, because this is positive for him. He's going to look forward to the farrier. He's going to say, let's do this, because I get rewarded all the time. I had a draft horse that wouldn't lift his leg no matter what you did. We tried everything. We tried tapping the leg with the crop. We tried squeezing the tendon, squeezing the chest. These were all the traditional ways of getting the horse to lift his foot, and he is an Amish horse that had never had foot care, so he didn't know what the heck to do. He was just ignored it at that point, because he didn't know what I was trying to ask him to do, and I couldn't apply enough pressure before it became painful and unpleasant. So that's how we kind of realized how powerful this was, because he would just wait for him to naturally unleash the foot. Really just a little bit. He doesn't have to lift it up all the way. Just by waiting it or rewarding that. So you have to think in terms of baby steps. Sometimes it's hard to get from point A to point B. Sometimes you need 10 little tiny steps in between. But by making him think and making you think, you become a better trainer, and he becomes a better horse. He wants to listen to you. He understands that you're not going to hurt him. It's a trust-building activity here. He wants to stay with me, and I don't have to pull him. Because I hate the kind of horses that drag me across the room. Sometimes there's an ice patch. I don't want to go ice skating. Thank you very much. But I want a horse that's going to stay with me. I want a horse that's going to listen. If something bad happens, I want him to listen to me and not the scary sound he just heard. So it's kind of building a sense of calmness. You can encourage a horse to be calm by asking them to lower their head. Because when they're really scared, they put their head all the way up in the air. Like that. They'll put their head way up and look around and ears forward, and they get excited and scared, and that's the reaction when they're a little scared. I don't want that. I don't have to deal with that when I'm trying to bridle him. I want a horse that's calm. He should have his head down a little bit lower than this. You ignore the rude behavior and it goes away. You have to bear with him. He's getting a little tired right now. but I'd like his head down and him relaxed and focused on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask him to lower his head. He may not even know what you're doing at first. You just put your hand, see? He's like, what the heck are you doing? Just put your hand on the head. I'm not putting any pressure. There's no pressure. There's no pain. And at the moment his chin goes down just a little tiny bit, he gets the reward. So we got to start from somewhere. It seems really slow at first. I'm not pushing his head down. There we go. He'll just eventually, at some point, automatically lower his head. And you reinforce that, and he realizes, oh, you want my head to be down. And some studies have shown that when their heads are asked to be lowered and they keep them lower, it keeps them calm. It's kind of like a cycle. You know, when their heads are up, they kind of stay excited, and because their heads are up, they feel more excited. It feeds on itself. We want him to lower his head and stay calm, like that. I'm not pushing, I'm not tapping. You just put your hand above him, and he would realize that's what you're asking for. This ties into keeping his head down for bridling. Ties into a horse that's listening to me and not all over the place. This is a thoroughbred. He used to race. He's a very athletic and excitable horse. And you see how calm he's become now. Now, before you all run home and just start throwing treats at your animals, please do read up on it like any training method. You want to be safe. You want to understand the concepts. You don't want a horse that's going to be on top of you. You don't want to be any, compromise safety at all.